All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. I've been busy this week. I have a bunch of videos coming. I've got to get my review up. I'm finally going to get my review up for Creature Commandos, and that may be up later today. I still have to do my Daredevil review. There was a movie I watched yesterday, and I'm probably going to watch The Electric State today on Netflix and have a review up for that. So there's going to be a number of videos coming this week, and I've just been so busy with, I had what was supposed to be my last visit with the surgeon on Monday, and then 2 physical therapy sessions this week, and I'm actually standing in my booth right now rather than sitting, so I'm hoping to be walking by normal in a couple of weeks, but we'll see. I'll keep everybody updated on that kind of stuff. But if you end up liking the video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It helps out the channel tremendously, and you guys have been a huge help with my channel over the last several months while I've been recovering, and yeah, I do very much appreciate it, and I would not be here without your guys' support. So we have a lot to cover today. There are some interesting things that have happened. There's a big name possibly coming to the DCU, and there's just some crazy things that have happened since my last update. There was a commercial released by State Farm, and that's actually, we're going to start, we'll talk about the State Farm thing early in today's video, but we're going to jump into the screen grabs that I have, and we're going to get started here. Some interesting things to cover. So first up, this has to do with McFarlane Toys, who has been doing the DC toys for years now. It says, McFarlane Toys says they have an entire line of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow planned for 2026, and that talks about continuing their license with DC and Warner Brothers for 2027 are still in motion, even though Mattel got the rights back to the DC toys. So what we might end up seeing is they can license out different types of these, like the whole multiverse thing may stay with McFarlane Toys. Maybe just the movie version of the multiverse will stay with McFarlane Toys, and then Mattel gets the rest of it. And they do expect Mattel to really flood the market with toys in regards to DC. So, the average Joe can walk into a store and start buying DC toys. That has not been the case for quite some time now, except for the McFarlane Toys. And so this will bring back a section of DC toys into toy stores and into, Walmart, Target, and all those places. But they can license out different aspects of this so that McFarlane Toys may be able to hold on to part of it. I don't see them scrapping this because of these movies coming up that I do believe we're going to see the McFarlane Toys for years to come still. But to what degree remains to be seen. So here it is. This is pretty cool. I couldn't believe this. So I woke up the other day to this State Farm commercial, and it starred Jason Bateman and a bunch of other people. And I got to tell you, this commercial for State Farm, it's like a 2-minute commercial that you can see online, is way better than the whole marketing for Superman. Like, it is pretty awesome. Here's a look at the Joker that they had created. Wouldn't it be awesome if we finally got a DC universe where this was the actual Joker? Like, it amazes me that every director is dancing around who the Joker should actually be. Now, we didn't see it with Zack Snyder at all. Well, we did because of, the Suicide Squad, and that was more of a current version of the Joker. This is a more traditional look at the Joker, which really hasn't been done in live action before. And so this was a great look for the Joker. That trailer, that 2-minute commercial for State Farm was amazing. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. There are other villains in there as well, and you get to see Batman in a really cool-looking Batmobile that is very reminiscent of what Zack Snyder did with Batman vs. Superman. Some pretty cool stuff. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Now, here's some information on Guy Gardner for Superman, and this tells me that he doesn't really understand these characters. It says, Nathan Fillion confirms Guy Gardner is a jerk in Superman. He said, you don't have to be good to be a Green Lantern. You just have to be fearless. Fearless is not what makes you a Green Lantern. It's willpower. not being fearless. Obviously, if you're a jerk, you're pretty much fearless and you're just pompous. So it has nothing to do with being fearless. So this tells me he doesn't understand the character. He said, I think if he has a superpower, it might be his overconfidence. In that he thinks he could take on Superman, he can't. And so at least he understands that. But that is not, fearless has nothing to do with being a Green Lantern. It has to do with willpower. That is for sure. So here it is. This was the big news, and we're going to talk about who this name is here in a minute. But it says there are some major casting surprises in Superman, and one of them is most likely Jor-El. And Snyder says that he has heard that none other than Tom Cruise has been cast as Jor-El. And talking about a couple of major casting surprises, it has been confirmed that there are going to be a couple of cameos in the movie with some pretty big names. One of those is expected to be Supergirl. And I specifically remember James Gunn saying he would not do cameo porn and that he would not use characters from one movie to set up another movie. Okay? So it's a question on who these characters are. And there were already reports that Superman, and I don't know if this is true or not, that Superman doesn't have enough Superman in it. There are so many characters jammed into this movie that he doesn't get as much screen time as he should. And I believe it with all the characters that are in there. They cannot focus on the other characters. They definitely need to focus on Superman. Also, it says Warner Brothers will have a presentation on April 1st at CinemaCon titled The Big Picture about its upcoming slate. Now, this is not specifically about DC. This is Warner Brothers in general. And I will tell you, they got a movie coming out this summer that I am very much looking forward to called F1. The trailer dropped yesterday, and it is a Warner Brothers movie that is directed by, what's his name? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. The same guy who directed Oblivion. He directed, Top Gun Maverick. He directed Tron Legacy. That director is the one who is doing this F1 movie, and it looks pretty phenomenal. The racing in it looks amazing. And so that is definitely going to be one of the things that they're going to be talking about there and a few other things. And so it's not just about DC stuff. This is going to be about everything, and there are a number of things coming out. So here it is. According to the Snyder, there are some major casting surprises in Superman, one of the biggest being the possibility of Tom Cruise playing Superman's father, Jor-El. I don't like this casting. There are some people thinking it's going to be Henry Cavill, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think James Gunn is smart enough to do that. It would make sense, especially with this being, supposed to be kind of a reset of the universe, which they still have no plans on explaining. It would be kind of cool if they could get Henry Cavill to come back and play Jor-El, but I don't see that happening either. James Gunn posted this the other day, and again, he posts just the weirdest stuff. None of these things get people excited for anything. But it said, Peter Safran, David Corenswet, and I had great time speaking in front of the wonderful folks at Warner Brothers Discovery yesterday, DC Studios, Superman. And again, he just posts this photo of the DC Studios logo and the three of them up on stage. This to me seems like a rah-rah type of meeting. If it was just for Warner Brothers Discovery, what was the purpose of this? Like, really? What was the purpose of this? He gives no explanation. This is what they should be doing in front of people, not Warner Brothers Discovery. It's like they're hiding Superman. I really hope the marketing goes into high gear and we have something to get excited for. And we're going to look at a new picture of Superman that people were just drooling over that got released yesterday. And then somebody pointed out something funky I'm going to show you guys in the actual photo. This was pretty cool. Aaron S. Bailey posted this. He said, the actor Josh Harp said to play Joker, dream come true, about playing the character in the State Farm Batman ad. He is an actor and talented blues musician. So that is the guy who played the Joker. And just look at that. I mean, that's pretty freaking cool. So this cracks me up. James Gunn is, he was supposed to be so busy making Superman, but he posts weird crap like this. He said, this Superman cake from Chef Duff Goldman and crew tasted even better than it looked, thanks to everyone at Food Network for the surprise. And again, Superman is nowhere to be seen, but we have Krypto in there. And does this look like a guy who's super tired and exhausted and beat down? He seems to be doing all sorts of things. So here's a closer up. He doesn't look tired or beat down there. He's partying. He's out there partying. And then we have a better look at the actual cake itself. It is pretty cool looking. And then here's a look at Krypto. Yeah. Again, this is their marketing for Superman. All right, so here we go. Now, guys, I'm going to point something out here. This is not a real photo of David Corenswet unless David Corenswet has a really funky face. And I'm going to point two things out here in regards to this. It says, new look at David Corenswet's Superman appearing on merchandise. And this was posted everywhere. Everybody was like drooling over this. That's Superman. This is Superman. Amazing. New look at Superman. Now, let's look at this realistically. First of all, the suit is loose-fitting. It is not as tight as it shows here, okay? In the photo of actually David Corenswet, it's not that tight. And then if you look at the actual backpack, they don't show it the way it is on the costume. They show it with actual muscles on the backpack. Like, you cannot get them to correctly represent what the suit looks like. If it looked like this, it would be better. But that's not what they've done. Now, let's look at the real goofy part. Look at David Corenswet's face. Look at the right side from our view, the right side of his face versus the left side of the picture, not his face. His right side of this picture is puffed way out to the side, whereas the left side is not. Like, this is photoshopped, and it's not done very well at all. The whole proportion of his face is completely off. This is what they continue to market with. It's goofy. It is just goofy. And that looks like that's probably at a Target, is my guess. But whatever. It's crazy that they haven't even announced what they're going to be doing for the marketing or the merchandise, and yet stuff is starting to show up on shelves. Like, they should be talking about this stuff and telling people what's coming up, but they haven't even done that. It is being reported by, again, Snyder, that there will be at least 2 big cameos in Superman, one of them being Supergirl, and who do you think the other one will be? Again, James Gunn said he would not use one movie to set up another, but it looks like that's exactly what he is going to be doing with Superman. It was announced that Jason Ritter has been cast in Lanterns. He is supposed to play, he's the husband of one of the characters in the show. So, again, we haven't really seen much from Lanterns. They've been filming now for several weeks. It'll be interesting to see when we get something worth actually talking about. Everything just seems underwhelming at this stage. It's all boring. I do like Jason Ritter. I miss his dad. Was awesome, and he's a spitting image of his dad, which is cool. But there we go. All right, guys, so there you go. That's what we have for the DC, information for the end of the week here. If anything big drops over the weekend, I will be putting those videos out, but I do have the reviews I need to get through, and so those will be popping up. And if you guys have the time, please watch the reviews. It helps my channel. Like them, share them. It would be very much appreciated. I'm supposed to be primarily a review channel, but the DC stuff has overtaken everything, and I would like, to get a more even approach to everything. But DC stuff is still going to be my main focus going forward, but I do need to get my review stuff out there, and if you guys watch it, it would be a huge, huge, huge help. All right, guys, so there you have it for the end of the week. I do appreciate it. We will see you guys on the next video.